Swimming pool or pond? What would you choose? So we're out here in LaGrange, Illinois, and that's exactly the question our customers had to deal with. Were they gonna do a swimming pool or revitalize the swimming pool or do it with a pond? Now these guys obviously went with a pond, otherwise we wouldn't be here. But they did a ton of research, and so they inherited kind of an abandoned swimming pool years and years ago when they bought this old historic home. Our current customers went on a pond tour and went and researched a ton of different ponds. And I remember meeting them more than 2 years ago and sitting down with Dan and really kind of laying out the pros and cons of a pond versus a swimming pool. And I will tell you this, the number one reason I would go with a pond over a swimming pool is because this time of year. When I say this time of year, it is November. And what does a swimming pool look like in November if you live in the Midwest? Or even in some of the other areas, warmer areas, what does a swimming pool look like this time of year? And I'll tell you, because if you don't know, it looks like this. That's right, there's covers over the top. There's no reason to go outside. This pond will look amazing when we're finished. So what's crazy is I think some of the prep work that goes into these projects, you know, you think of the logistics of giving all these rocks and where you're gonna stage, you know, 20 tons of boulders and the size of these boulders, and then where are you gonna put them where they don't get in everybody else's way, and like here's a tree stump that's got to come out of the ground that we didn't anticipate, and the homeowner asked, could we just get this while we're here? And so we were like, sure, we got the machines. Look at all of the concrete pilings that have to come out of here and haul all that stuff away. And so when you're thinking of like bidding these projects out, or even if you're trying to tackle this stuff yourself, look at the amount of work and time that goes into getting all this done before we can even start painting out the pond. It was a busy couple minutes, a busy hour in the first hour we started, but Rock showed up. Chris is sitting where a future patio is going to sit. We're going to do that wall stone right in here, so a stamped concrete patio can come right up to the edge of the pond over in here. The backside's got a fire pit, and it will do a little landscape bed in between this patio and the fire pit, really to kind of separate those spaces, create two different rooms. Still want to bring this in kind of close to the deck, but I've got a good 6 feet in between here. Don't need to bring it right up, because with the elevated deck, when you're sitting, your line of sight only comes to about right in there. So we'll come over into there. Bridge is going to sit over there. Pond goes a little bit further past that, and waterfalls are going to kind of sit on an angle, almost where Chris is at, dropping this way. So it should be, we got about a 28. We might go a little bit bigger for the sake of art, but it's supposed to be 26. We'll probably go 28. We might even go 30, because I've got the liner to do it, and I always bring extra liner just in case I want to make it a little bit bigger. By 18, and same thing, I might take it the 2 feet further this way. We'll see. We've got a couple BioFalls on here, a skimmer box, a little vault area. Today's goal is dig. Let's dig, try to get the fabric liner in here. Now that we've gotten all of that garbage out, which took a little longer than I thought, all that the concrete posts to the deck that must have surrounded this above ground swimming pool. So now we can start digging. Hey guys, as you're watching this video, make sure you check out the link below. It's the only time we've ever done it. We are doing a backyard makeover giveaway, 100% free for you guys. You guys can win a backyard like this, if not even nicer, just by clicking the link below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll be to your yard soon enough. All right, so we're gonna dig, and remember, like, all this soil is gonna stay on site. We generally keep all the soil on site just so we can create a massive berm for our waterfalls. Remember, the bigger and bigger that berm is, the more natural your waterfall is gonna look like. You want that waterfall to look like it comes out of a natural hillside. If the berm has this volcanic look to it, so is your waterfall. It's just never gonna look natural. We call it kind of a 3-foot rule. Like wherever the waterfall starts, the soil should come out flat 3 feet, then slowly taper, and then give it a reason to stop if you can't take it any further. And usually pull some inspiration from nature, and that abrupt grade change might be a wall or a big giant boulder or some kind of structure that caused that berm to shift from one area to the other. Here we're at, you know, we got the fabric in, we're gonna get the liner in, and then we're gonna start right away with our bridge. We've done bridges I think, for majority of our projects this year. And so you can see we've just got some wall stone. We're just using an engineered wall stone here. All this is going to be inside the liner, so I don't have to worry about the freeze thaw and the shifting to winter frost lines and everything else, because the ice will never go down 3 feet deep. So we've got this footing in. We're going to do a footing on both sides. The wall stays on top of a crushed gravel chip just so we can level everything off. We're going to drop our bridge in, and then the key is to hide those. So of course that looks ridiculously ugly, these two giant walls sitting inside the pond. We're going to come in though and hide those corners with big boulders, and so the wall almost kind of disappears behind our granite boulders on either side. Once we've got the bridge done, we'll then start doing the walls inside the pond, and it's really the same thing. So those walls, remember, are going to support different patios. One's going to support a patio, kind of an outdoor dining area. Another one's going to support a fire pit that comes right up to it, but I don't want to see where the walls end, so then we get some big boulders and stuff in front of them. Right now they look absolutely ridiculous. We'll show you here how we kind of hide them. If you look here, we've done a couple things. You can see how we've got some of those big granite boulders off into the right, hiding the wall, so you don't see where the wall starts and ends. Rock above that is actually gonna, Chris is gonna come in and cut some brick to fit around that rock, and then we'll transition up higher. And then if you remember in the beginning of the video, we talked about how high that soil was gonna be up against the house, and the grade change difference is a couple feet. What I don't wanna do is see 2.5 feet of stone, exposed stone on the back side of the pond, and then the water level like right up to patio height for the rest of the pond. And so what we'll do a lot of times is kind of terrace those areas, leaving opportunity for plants to soften all of that rock. The other thing we've done in this one is we've brought in a bowl. And so the customers decide to upgrade the pond a little bit and bring in one of these filter bowls. The idea of the filter bowl is to break up the monotony of all of that rock, all of those granite boulders, so it doesn't look like the Great Wall of China. And a waterfall, in this case coming out of the bowl, will pull your eye more to the waterfall rather than concentrate on all of those rocks. Let's talk a little bit about that swimming pool versus pond. I wouldn't call it a debate, but you know, if you're thinking of a swimming pool or you're thinking of a pond, here's the insights I can give you on why I would rather have a pond versus a swimming pool. You know, so I grew up in Arizona and grew up with a swimming pool. And don't get me wrong, I loved swimming in that swimming pool. It was fun, but more because it was just hot. You needed a place to cool off all the time. But I can also tell you that having 3 kids and watching my kids grow up with a pond, I would have much rather have had a pond than a swimming pool as a child. It became such a giant educational tool that I never would have guessed it would be part of their lives. Also, the neighbors had a swimming pool, and guess where the neighbors would swim all the time? Yes, they would constantly jump our fence and come over into the pond. And because it's more creative, it's more discovery. They're snorkeling and they're looking at fish. They're moving things around. They see baby fish. They find frogs. They find turtles. All kinds of things. My daughter asks about birds that are attracted to the pond. It became our hobby. You know, what kind of birds come to your pond? A swimming pool does not attract birds. It does not attract wildlife. In fact, it's void of all life. Think about what a pond looks like in the Midwest, and really maybe majority of the country through most of the year. For us, 9 out of the 12 months, a swimming pool is closed down and covered up with some type of tarp. A pond is set open all year long. And so you really get to enjoy the different seasons of a pond. It is a 4-season investment. And when you think of a swimming pool, it's a 4-season investment that you only get to enjoy for 3 months out of the year. Really, the cost of a custom in-ground swimming pool is going to be nearly the same cost as a custom large pond. But anyways, we could go on and on about this. Let's wrap this one up. You can see we're almost done. We got to get the patio guys in here. We got to get a little bit of landscaping done. But I can't wait to show you guys the reveal on this one, and we'll go from there. So this pond was a little tricky to design. You know how we always try to design it from inside the house, but for this project, it was a little difficult. That window there is kind of the backside to an office. This window over here is kind of like some windows that aren't really visible. They're kind of pass-through windows. And then this area is king, but on the other side is the family room and the kitchen. So you're not gonna see from the family room and the kitchen through all of this. So we really wanted to try to create more of a destination spot. I remember meeting with our customers and saying, hey, this spot is king. I can guarantee you when you're out here, it's gonna be hard to leave this spot. There's an outdoor dining table. There's a little table fire pit in there, some swivel chairs, a couch. There's a heater, there's a fan. Like, it's such a party room. In fact, when I first sat in there when we were doing the consultation, I was genuinely jealous. Like, I want something like that for my backyard. As important as that is, if we just put a pond out here, it's gonna be really, really hard for people to enjoy it. And so we need to figure out a nice transition from this area here down to a viewing area by the pond. He said he wanted to have an outdoor grill, so we kind of created this little landing area here. This is gonna be his future outdoor kitchen kind of space. And then we did some stone steps that lead you down to a intimate patio. It's not a huge patio. Call it 12 by 12-ish. Big enough for a single table and some chairs. And then I would imagine in the future, some swivel chairs can sit right in here that look out across the pond. The other thing I wanted to do, you know how much I love bridges. So there's another staircase that comes down from over there. And the direction of this staircase seemed a little odd to me. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I loved this, right? It was kind of like a fox's den. You got an emergency way out that way and another emergency way out this way. But this area just kind of screamed to be greeted by a waterfall. It also comes from their driveway. So as you park from the garage and come back up, you're gonna see that waterfall right away. And it also screamed for that bridge. So you come down these stone steps, go across the bridge, and the bridge leads to another viewing area over on the other side of the pond. So we've went from having one difficult viewing area up into here to having now more than 3. We can view the pond from in here and the coziness and the shelter of this outdoor porch area. This is our second viewing area, outdoor fire pit, and then the third, the fish feeding area over on our side. I think that's my favorite part about this pond, just how interactive it is and from so many different angles. And every time you sit in another viewing area, you get to appreciate something totally different than the last viewing area. So of course, as you come down across the steps and come up to the bridge, you really, really interact with this water feature. We've got 2 biofalls on this, set back kind of far so we don't see that point of origin, and dropped all the way down. What we love doing is taking those biofalls, pushing them back a little bit, and not allowing the waterfall to come directly out of the biofalls, but let that biofall fill up, push out into like kind of an upper pool, and then do the drops. And some super simple drops, right? Nothing really complicated, but very visible from a further distance. As you come across the bridge and you come into the fire pit area, you look across, and I would say the theme this year with water features is how many bowls can we put on? And sure enough, they got the 50-inch bowl sitting over there, which is only visible this side of the bridge, not from inside the house. I would imagine this is gonna be more late night conversations, maybe a glass of wine, the fire's coming, you know, the stars are up, the lights in the pond are on. Really just kind of an intimate spot. You don't hear the sound of the waterfall nearly as much because we're back away from it. And with the height of this berm, it really muffles the sound, but we get to enjoy the distant sound of the bowl over there. And if you come this way, a little stone pathway that leads you over to there, and then this will all be landscaped really thick, so it kind of hides the view of this. So the intent from this space was to create a kind of a secret pathway. And if you look, there's a slight little berm right in here. I'm sure they came and grassed it over just because they've got some dogs, and you know, getting some grass seed down allows the dog to at least come outside without muddy feet. So grass is quick, get it down, get it seeded, go. But the intent was for this pathway to come way out here, and then everything on my left to be a big landscaped berm, really making this space feel intimate and secluded. I didn't want to make these two spaces feel like they were so close to each other. Putting this in here temporarily absolutely works. Maybe later they'll put that pathway that comes out a little bit further and allow this whole berm area to really get landscaped, which I think will look really incredible. If we go on their temporary stone pathway, you come over this way and you get the best view of the pond, where you see the profile of the bowl, you see the bridge, you see the waterfall in the distance. And then of course, next year when they get fish are coming right up close to the fish feeding patio over in here. What an awesome project, and how much better is this than a swimming pool? Remember, what would I be doing in November right now if there was a swimming pool sitting here? There's no reason to even be outside sitting next to it. Because looking at a cover, you'd look kind of ridiculous. You're just staring at the cover of a pool. Here, there's actually still something to look at. You've got great fall color, the beautiful sound of blowers in the distance, this magnificent elm tree. You just really get to take in all of nature when a pond is sitting out here. And birds are still flourishing and coming to this thing all the time. Love your decision on going with the pond. What do you guys think? Did they make the right decision in going with the pond, or should they have stayed with the swimming pool? Can't wait to see the comments down below. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll do it again really shortly. Bye.